All right, here we go. Here we go. We're live. Took me about 5 tries to get this thing going. Tell you what, man, I am just not technologically advanced. I sold technology for close to 20 years. You'd think I'd have a clue on how to use this stuff, but that's either here nor there, as they say. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Samboner Show. This is a new segment, Mondays with Mick. This is my third go-around of Mondays with Mick. Look, I wasn't going to fire up Mondays with Mick today, but I'm just feeling the mojo. Coming off that Game 4 win of the Philadelphia 76ers. Look, that was quite honestly like a shit-ass game. I don't know what to say, folks. I'm not sure if NBA basketball is just losing its luster. The days of Wilt Chamberlain versus Bill Russell, or even furthermore, Dr. J versus Larry Bird. Like, I'm afraid like our new generation of kids just don't understand what we were born and raised watching. I mean, that's some of the just best fucking basketball you could ever watch. But, here we go. We got Joel Embiid is the superstar on one end, and what's his face? Jason Tatum's the superstar on the other end. That Boston Celtics team is unbelievable, man. Scrappy, feisty, just tough to beat. But, if there's a will, there's a way. Looks like Embiid somewhat got his stamina back. Unfortunately, the fourth quarter, he disappears. And, we were talking a lot about that last night. Like, does that happen in professional sports? Like, your main MVP. Yeah, he's 280 fucking pounds. I don't know how tall he is. 7'5". Jesus Christ. Dude is an animal. But, man, hopefully he continues to fire back on all cylinders. It was great to steal Game 4 and take it back to Boston 2-2. Because, again, if the Sixers lost yesterday, I don't think I'd fire up this show. I probably wouldn't even have taken my dog for a walk. I don't know what it is, man. Like, Philadelphia 4-for-4 guy. We're all diehard Philly sports fans. Like, for example, when the Eagles lose on Sunday, forget about it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're like crawling back. And then finally Thursday, you're starting to handicap those games again. Maybe you get back up on your feet. Maybe not. If you're Fat Pat, you're probably sleeping your fucking fat ass for 7 days straight until Sunday morning. And if they lose again on Sunday, oh my God, forget about it. But here we go, folks. Back to Mondays with Mick. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Oh my God, man, alive. Finally, a week in the books with the Samboner page back. We're firing on all cylinders. Feels good to be back. Mondays couldn't be any better. And like I said before, folks, if you're driving into work on this beautiful Monday morning and you want to pull off to the side or you want to turn around and you're just not feeling good about your Monday morning, sales forecast or your KPI reports look like shit, I'm your guy. Give me a call. We'll talk it through. I know where have you been. I know what it's like, to walk into those Monday morning meetings and throwing up a goose egg or, $300, boss. I'm going to go cold call. I'll go drop 35 cold calls. You got any extra business cards? Maybe I should sell some Girl Scout cookies along the way. Oh, my God. Talk about the fucking daily grind. I don't miss it, guys. I do not miss it. I started out my career selling copier machines. Checking into work at 8 a.m. You had to leave at 9:30 after you made 35 phone calls. And then you left at 9:30. I handled the entire county of Bucks County, just canvassing the streets, knocking on doors, no solicitation, no solicitation. You want me to do not my fucking job? I got to walk in. I got to greet the what do you call it? The gatekeeper. I got to grind my way through the office to find the decision maker. I got kicked out of buildings left and right. And then I had to be back to the office at 3 o'clock and make another 35 calls. Like, looking back on those 2 years that I sold copier machines, oh, my God. You know what? It's made me a better man. I think it's made me a better man. I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore. I don't know what to think about it. But, again, happy Monday, folks. Let's keep on grinding. Let's keep on Sambone. And hope everybody's having a great, great day. Hope everybody has a great, great week. Game 5 tomorrow night. Sixers Celtics in Boston. Oh, man. Dude, let's talk about that, though. The Sixers-Celtics game. I'm afraid the NBA landscape, the NBA game has just drastically changed. Like, again, I'm fortunate to be able to cut my teeth selling copier machines. I'm also fortunate to be able to cut my teeth watching, the Dr. J's versus the Larry Birds, or even just like, going back and looking at the Bill Russell versus the Wilt Chamberlain days, and even just all the way into the late 80s with the Boston Strangler, Andrew Toney. My God, Sir Charles Mo Cheeks. But here we are. We're in this new age. Let's go to the replay booth. Let's monitor every fucking call they make. I don't know, man. There's just too much bullshit going on. But at the end of the day, it was a good game. The Sixers did prevail. I'm talking like 0.1 second, man. The guy hit the 3. Marcus Smart, Jesus Christ, dude, he is unbelievable. I hate his guts, but he's a Philly killer. He, hit that shot, didn't count, and here we are. Mondays with Mick. We're firing up because, again, if that shot counted, I'm still in bed. So let's recap the weekend, everybody. It was one hell of a weekend. I was a good little boy, actually. I was until Saturday. I think Monday through Friday, the wifey was out of town. I had all 3 kids. We were traveling from East Bumblefuck all the way to West Bumblefuck, out to God knows where, playing soccer, lacrosse, basketball, baseball. I can't keep up anymore. I just get in my car, I pop on Waze, shout out to Waze. No, that's not an ad. One day maybe it will once we get the Samboner app up and running. But dude, we just make it happen. We make it happen. And then, luckily got around to a nice little round of golf on Friday. My buddy and I, we fired up 18 holes, met up with some other dude who was trying to qualify for some mid-am. Shout out Ben, man. But, dude, you need a flying prayer if you're going to qualify that tournament because you're a fucking head case, dude. Honestly, no, I'm just kidding. Ben, you're a good dude. All the best. Matt came in with an 81. I shot an 82. Now, 82 with 3 blow-up holes. I think it was 3 triples. And let me just run you down on this one hole. Hole 6. We get the hole 6. And the course is in beautiful, beautiful shape. Everything is green. The holes that were punched probably 4 or 5 weeks ago are, pretty much cured at this point. I pull up to hole 6, 182 yards. I whip out a 6-iron. It's uphill, 2-tier green. Beautiful little baby draw. I knock it to like 15, 20 feet, but it does sit under the lower tier. Here I go. I got a good 20, 25-foot putt for birdie. You know what Samboner Mick does? Samboner Mick putts it halfway up the hill and watches his ball roll completely off the green. I go from having 25 feet to 35 yards. You know what Samboner Mick does again? He puts that ball all the way back up, halfway up the hill, and stands there and watches the ball come rolling right back to his feet. Luckily, I was able to get up and down again. But, staring down a birdie and you make a 5, this fucking game will drive you to drink. And let me just tell you, we did a little drinking on Saturday. Yeah. After the Dodgers Padres classic intramural baseball showdown, these guys flying from San Diego, they're doing their thing. But dude, things are starting to turn around. I gave a nice little speech all around, being a good sportsman and what it's like to, have the right sportsmanship. Because these kids, man, I'll tell you what, like, 6th grade, 7th grade, like, dude, I got to tell you, like, I was the biggest dick in the world when I was 6th and 7th grade. Like, I was a total hothead. I picked fights every other weekend. I had detention every other Friday. I know, shocker, right? Jesus Christmas. But no, I've become to just age and grow up, and these kids will all grow up one day. But this is a lot of fun for these kids, man. Just rubbing shoulders with their classmates, and every game seems to be like a 11-9, 11-10 battle. A couple double plays return, a couple rundowns. But here we go, baby. Dodgers are 2-2. We're off to an okay start. Championship is still the number one priority. As soon as these kids get their heads out of their ass, we'll realize that one day, and we're going to win that chip. But no, that's just me having a little fun. Nothing like coaching youth sports, youth baseball. This will likely be my last year of coaching the little guy at 12 because I don't know what they do when they turn 13, and I don't want any goddamn parts of it. But so Saturday rolls around and we got Derby Day, man. We got Derby Day. Obviously we got to go, out to Doylestown, over to Yardley, back to Southampton, over to Horsham, back to Maple Glen, wrap up the day. We get home at like 5 o'clock, and then we hit up a neighbor's house. We go watch the Derby. We fire up some burgers. We fire up some dogs. We throw back, like, I don't know. I had like a variety of stuff like last weekend. So it was a mix of 5 or 6 Miller Lights, 5 or 6 Rolling Rocks, maybe throw back a couple whiskeys. I don't know. And then we're sitting around the fire. Matt turns on the grill, throws the burgers and dogs on. We start firing up our bets. But like the Kentucky Derby, right? Is the Kentucky Derby a trap? Like, I honestly think it's one of the best 2 minutes in sports, honestly. But like, it just comes and it goes. And like, I don't know if it just brings the complete degenerate out of yourself. Like it does for me. Like I had no intentions of betting the Derby because I wasn't at a track. I wasn't at a local OTB. But, thanks to FanDuel, I mean, anything is possible. Or, shout out Bet Parks, Maniac Malloy. I don't download that shit. He's not giving me any good credit. So until he hooks me up, I'm not using Bet Parks, Maniac. But, you fire up the FanDuel just like that. You fucking drop $75. I I had the 3, 5, 6, 8 trifecta box. I had King Barnes. Who else did I have? I didn't have Mage. I didn't have Mage to win. And you know what? 8's my favorite number too. Growing up as a kid, and I wore number 8. And sure enough, he comes out on top. He paid like 17 to 1 too. God damn it, that's some good money. But dude, I'm a big fan of the Kentucky Derby. But I will say it is like, yeah, it's all cracked up. Like maybe there should be like 2 or 3 like really cool races, and there probably is. I'm just not like the huge horsing guy, but like if there was like a number of like 3 or 4 like championship races throughout that day, maybe like that would bring more like fun to it. Like every 15, 20 minutes, we have like 4 huge races. But dude, I dropped a quick 75, continue to have a good time, hung out by the fire, do what we could. He busted me, damn it. Dude, this isn't easy doing this by yourself, man.
Hey, Mickey, how you doing, pal?
Colin Thompson coming in hot. I love it.
I had to do a little, I was going to do the intro for my show. I log into our StreamYard, and I see live Mondays with Mickey.
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god, dude! It's like Colin just came in. He's like my old boss from 25 years ago, the biggest micromanager in America. Mickey, I told you to make 35 cold calls, not 33. Give me those business cards. I need to look through. Mickey, we got to go call those guys right now. They're the decision makers we're looking for. No, I'm just kidding. What's up, dude?
What have you been talking about? Nothing, bro. What have you been talking about?
I've been talking out of my asshole for the last 15 minutes, Colin. It's Mondays with Mick, baby. The Sixers won. I'm feeling good. I don't know what else to do with myself, so I'm doing Mondays with Mick.
I watched overtime. James Harden from the corner for 3.
Oh my god! You know he's either put up or shut up, man. You know the guy comes to play or he doesn't, and that's like I think that's professional sports nowadays, right? We talked about this last night, Colin. Like Dr. J, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, those guys that we grew up watching, they always brought it. They always brought it. They never had a bad game. And now you see these like superstars like Jason Tatum the other night, 7 points. Joel Embiid can barely stay on his feet after the third quarter. Like, is it me or just has everything started to change? I mean, you're a professional athlete. Like, what's all this like? What do they used to call it? Not the time management, not the time management. Their legs give up, so they have to rest them longer. What's that word?
Yeah. It's interesting. So there's a lot to unpack because nutrition's better on players, right? We've all done stories about Jordan, like drinking, playing 18 holes and then going dropping 40, right? Like, so the nutrition's better. The staff's better. They're spending way more money on all of the things, strength and conditioning, recovery, massage. Like we have chiropractors. We have, like in a week, just to give an example of what football would be like. You have probably, if you're a big time player, you have 2-3 massages lined up. You'll have 2 to 3 visits with a chiropractor lined up, acupuncture, the whole thing to get your recovery back. Now, football is a longer deal. It's a different deal than basketball. But it's a good point. Time management. Like, are they putting these guys down? It's for the playoffs. And then they're tired. Like, and I don't blame them. Like, I'm not sitting here saying you shouldn't be tired. But
no. Load management was the word I was looking for. Load management.
Load management. Yeah. So I don't know. But I'll tell you this, as someone who is in and out with the NBA, I was watching Joel last night. This guy is a man amongst boys. And I know that's for a Sixers fan listening, that's an obvious statement. But when he's in the paint, like everything's slow motion for the guy. It's almost like the dad on the Little Tykes hoop with the kids. Like, and even when the kids are a little bit bigger and they're like 15 and dad's still dominating, that's Joel to me. I mean, he's just like lay it in.
Now, granted, Colin, that's what we were talking about. He did have 2-3 weeks off because of the injury. He came back in game 3 and got 15-20 minutes in, get his legs back. But then, like, he came out firing last night, and he was, like you said, he was just purely dominant. But then he got to the fourth quarter, and it was like his legs just went dead. Like, it's just like flop city. He can't seem to just keep his legs for 4 quarters. Now, granted, hopefully that stamina will get up and increase by game 5 on Tuesday night. But like the argument is is it maybe a product of your superstar being a 7'2", 280-pound center and not like just like your Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan of the world and Allen Iverson. But at the end of the day, now there's like a lot of, there's a lot of conversation in the mix. Like, do we trade this guy because is he not the long-term plan? Will he not have that type of stability and endurance, longer in his career because of his size and weight?
I think Jack in the back tweeted something that he's got maybe we'll give him the floor on one of our shows here to talk about it. But He's saying you should trade Embiid now and right at the end of the season.
Wow, he's saying that too, dude. A lot of people are saying that. I'm shocked by that.
Here's the thing: you can't do it, right? You can't, because what are you going to get for him? And if you get all these first round picks, awesome. But a team like, what are you going to do? You go from a franchise that's going to sell out every game. You just had the MVP. You're going to make a deep run here against Boston. You have all this momentum, and then you're going to it's not going to happen. So
I know. First, it was trust the process. Then Joel Embiid became the process, and now you're going to trade him. I mean, talk about a recipe for one of the best 30 for 30 stories of all time.
Yeah. Well, listen, we were talking about it last night with my buddy who's just a big NBA fan. We're eating dinner at our friend's house, and he's just like, I'm going through all he's not a Sixers fan. I'm going through all the trust the process stuff and how many times they've swung and missed. Talking about Fultz having a decent year when he came back. And like, I remember when Tatum hit the 3, I'm like, imagine not drafting this guy.
Like, that still stings, honestly.
That's a tough one, right? Like, the kid from Nova, Bridges, that one bothered me, and I guess the Philly in me is like, take the Philly kid, but it's just like, listen, he's a swing forward. He's, I don't really follow the NBA, but I'm assuming a better version of Tobias Harris, a younger version, like 3-and-D guy. Like, why would you not take that?
I think I've answered our question, by the way, the debate over, and it's a very simple answer, but the debate over what's better, playoff basketball or playoff hockey. At the end of the day, it really just boils down to, are you a bigger hockey fan or are you a bigger basketball fan? Because the playoff atmosphere for both the NBA and the NHL compared to the regular season stretch is night and day. It really is. I mean, these guys are honestly, now again, like, are they laying it on the line? Sure. Every single second of the game? No. And I think if you look back at like the 80s and 90s, they played the game harder. They really
had more energy. That was the whole thing. It was the value. It was like the blue collar. Like, you got to just, and there's a lot of guys like that. You watch, the NFL, like, or whatever sport, you see the guys who run around like they're crazy, right? Like, but they're probably making up for a lack of something else. They're high energy players. Like,
and there's something to be said about the Broad Street bullies, right? They just the Flyers. You just don't have that anymore. Like, your father was probably a huge Broad Street bully guy.
And now that's why I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, exactly. And now you're lucky to probably go down to 2 games a year.
That's why I played. He doesn't go. He went once. Like, he doesn't. Yeah, he won't go. That's why I played hockey for 10 years. Right. Like, that was a valued thing in my family, was watching Flyers. Like, the stories of me as a kid coming down the steps, and my uncle's down there with my dad drinking beers, watching the game. I'm like, this isn't the game. This is vintage.
Oh, hold on. Well, why is that? Like, I even grew up, like, my favorite player was Dave Poland. My cousin Kev had a Rick Tocchet jersey. We were big fans of Brian Propp. I interviewed Ron Propp over the summer. I did a little Samboner interview with Ron Propp. Like, there's that Flyers era from the Broad Street bullies right into like the Brian Propp, Ron Hextall, Rick Tocchet, and then just obviously you had Lindros. It's just like a dying breed almost. Like, Philadelphia is a hockey town, man. It's a hockey town.
It really is, because it's decades and generational. And that's how I explain it by, I always tell people from all over the world where I play, or my friends, my friends are from all over now, not really located in the Northeast. I'm like, it's the best fans in the world, guys. Not the best people, but the best fans in the world, Philly, by far, because it's generations. Like, it's my great-grandfather talking, who just passed when I was a boy, but like talking stories about going to this and doing to that, and the vet and Eagles.
Well, Colin, that's it. I opened up this little Mondays with Mick this morning, honestly, and as sad as it may sound, an Eagles loss on a Sunday will ruin your Monday, and that Sixers game, if they go down 3-1, same situation. It's kind of like, oh man, this sucks. Right back to the grind. Your Sixers team is down 3-1. Your Eagles are 0-2. Like, it has a reflection on how you perform that week. And now it's crazy to hear that. And, I'm talking to a guy that plays in the league, so this probably doesn't,
I understand it, dude.
But you understand it, right? And that's Philadelphia. That's just how hard we take it on our sleeve every single Sunday, or, we get to the playoffs with the Sixers, the Flyers, whoever it may be. When they lose that next day, like I just said it, like if we were down 3-1, I'm probably still in bed.
The Flyers playoffs, I'll never forget it. Right when we started going to Cape May more, I was in high school, and we would rent down there for Easter. And the Flyers played the Sabres against Ryan Miller. And I remember all our family going crazy, like rabid dogs, like more than than you could for a Sixers game. Just because I think the physicality of it, and the pride, and like the debauchery of hockey, that's what pulls me in. But there's a lot to unpack there, Mick, what you said. And I'll go back to Carolina 2 years ago. We were a good football team in the beginning.
Yeah.
Of the season. And we were 3-0. We lost to Dallas on a comeback by like 3. We were like 3-1. Things are trending in the right direction. We ended up losing to Philly. Really tough game. It was my worst game. And then we lost to Minnesota. And then the wheels kind of came off a little bit. It sucked because we were a 500 club, and I thought we were a playoff team then. And honestly, probably still Coach Rule would still be there. I think, but I digress. But my point is, so my point is, was we skid, and we lost our last like 6 games, and it was bad. We didn't win a game at like Bank of America Stadium, our home stadium, in a long time. We got booed off like the second to last game of the season by like the 20,000 people that were there in the 70,000 seat stadium. And guys were complaining. And I was like, guys, if we were in Philly, we would have got booed for the first loss 9 weeks ago.
Like it was the 6th.
You wouldn't be able to go to Rhino Deli and not hear about it.
Yeah.
Because we walk through Charlotte, like Baker Mayfield has said it, no one ever bothers me here. I'm like, really? He's like, dude, people got to say something to you. He's like, no, nobody really does. Like, that's that. So people in Philly don't understand what they have. I'll say that is you have a college town atmosphere. I'll take myself to the University of Florida. Like literally, I was hurt. Didn't even play my freshman year. We beat LSU by 1. It was Odell, Jarvis Landry, like sick team. Like this is a mecca of football. Like it was the best football I've only seen my 2 eyes. And I told myself, I don't think I'm cut out to do this. Like I'm like, I don't think I can do this. 12-13. 95,000 people. Like it was chaos, and people are throwing you beers, and like on the way home, great job, Colin. I know you're hurt. Keep pushing. Like people are screaming at me walking home because my house was in the back, like about a half mile from campus. But these Colt campuses, and I think Penn State's like that, but it's not, because if you're from Pennsylvania, you have the Steelers and the Penguins, you have the Flyers and Sixers. You have these massive, Penn State fans are from Maryland too. Like they have these massive pro teams. Down south, it's the closest thing to what you're going to have. If the Florida Gators lose on a Saturday, people's weeks are ruined.
Yeah.
But there's plans for next week to tailgate on a Thursday. People will be tailgating for a Saturday night game on Wednesday night, Thursday. So I know I'm long-winded here, but to Mick's point of it affects people, it's very SEC-like. And I didn't know that until I got down there. And I was like, wow, this is a different bird down here compared to like, hey, Notre Dame lost or Penn State lost. Like, okay,
no, my buddy lives in Arkansas. Same deal, man. Like Arkansas, people that live in Arkansas, they're more tuned to like Arkansas sports. There's no pro sport. And they live and breathe the softball team, the basketball team, the baseball team, the football
every
team.
Sport.
Yeah.
Every sport. Really dude, like it's really cool. Like my one friend from up here, his dad, I think, was thinking about retiring in Gainesville, the University of Florida, because he's like, dude, every night I got to watch a sporting event. Like baseball, it's the same couple that's like 65, 70, 80 that goes to the same Sunday game. It's the hot dogs. So it's cool. It's like a AAA environment. I'm off the rails, but no, it's an interesting point.
You're not off the rails though. Like, dude, I have fans. Like I have friends. I'm at soccer games over the weekend. I got dads telling me they're not even watching Game 4. I'm done with pro sports. I can't stomach pro sports anymore. And I kind of like don't know where they're going with it. But at the end of the day, like if you go watch like a girls softball, like a college girls softball game, like it kind of makes you understand. Like these girls are locked in. They're focused. They're bringing the heat every single play. And then like you go watch a pro sports game like last night, and it's like, did you just let him just go right by you? Like, why didn't you defend him? Like it's like an on and off button at times, and it just drives me fucking crazy.
It's unique. You can't get away with that in football.
No,
you'll get hurt, or you'll get slaughtered, or you'll get embarrassed. Now there's some effort plays here and there, but that's always been there in football. All right, like a guy doesn't give crazy effort, but really you don't even notice that on TV. But you notice it in film and you get your ass ripped for it. But that's why football will always hang around tough, because you're always going to see toughness and aggression and effort. That's why I'll always like watching the NHL. Yes, there's some lopsided games, but the effort, the grit. If it's 4-0, the team that has 0 goals, there's fights. There's moxie. There's, hey, we're going to lose tonight, but we're going to fight our way off this ice so they know in 2 nights when so that's what gets me going.
Yeah.
And I get it for NBA. Like if you're getting blown out, pull the guys off the court. Pull them off, because you're not.
I agree.
You can't. What are you going to do? Start a fight? You can't. So that's what loses me with hoops. But I digress. What a great game. I was in and out. We were traveling through the most of it, but I was able to watch the last overtime. And again, it's just so cool in Philly. Like everyone's standing up, and it's just chaos. And nobody, if you notice, when the game was over, not a person was running towards the exit. So that was cool.
I mean, we're 0.1 though. Like he gets that shot off a 0.2 faster. The game, it's 3-1, and that's just
what a shot.
Oh man,
he didn't even follow through. I mean, Smart pulled his hand off of it and he banged it. That's another thing with these guys they're so good now. And again, back to like I can't do pro sports anymore. It's like I get it. I think it's a blanket statement because they're all different, but something about the NBA and the effort. I don't blame the players. I blame how it's all.
If you're a guy in your like late 20s, early 30s listening, and you're into the Sixers game, right? That's awesome. This is an exciting time to be a sports fan. Do yourself a favor, go on YouTube and just find some videos of like the history between the Sixers and the Celtics and watch some of these games. Chamberlain versus Bill Russell, Dr. J versus Larry Bird. Go watch some of this shit. I mean, this is the history behind this rivalry. And there's something to be said about, those games back in the 80s and 90s because the game was played differently. And you'll know what I mean when you start watching these videos.
Yeah. And I think the culture of the basketball has changed. AAU's changed it. And I think because of the ability now to shoot from big men, the fouls, the inside play, like Shaq used to get destroyed. They wouldn't call a foul, right? Because it was like, oh, he's big. Don't worry about it. But I just think that taking the physicality out of sports is going to hurt the game. Now, protecting the quarterback in football is great because if Jalen Hurts is not playing in that game, the numbers are down, the viewership's down, the salary cap's less, so it's not good. Protect the quarterbacks, protect players from head injuries, but keep the physicality in football. I think they've done that. The NHL has done it now. Every player's got to wear a visor. It saved the guy's eye the other night on TV. So there's some good things, but I think basketball needs to allow a little bit more physicality in. And I think you're going to see these guys grind a little bit more because there's more pride in it now.
Yeah.
When you put your body out there, look at Bird. Like
I will say too, I'm not digging the whole, you get that one instant replay or the one challenge. I'm not a big fan of being able to challenge a foul. Like, yeah, I don't understand that. Like, you mean to tell me you're going to go to the booth and tell me if Marcus Smart was like leaning or he was still over like a split second and then like change the game? I think you just got to let them play. Like maybe if it was like a shot clock violation, yeah, you can challenge that, but you can't be challenging fouls and whistles and shit like that. But anyway,
what were your plan for the show? Because I'm going to hop on. I got to do my intro and then produce my show and then produce yours.
Well, I went 20 minutes before you creeped up on me, buddy. But I'm glad you jumped on because I was hot and heavy. I was feeling it. These Mondays with Mick. I'm not sure if they're weekly or bi-weekly, but I'm fired up. I'm excited for what's ahead. It's a beautiful.
I can't wait for you to do these from the shore on Monday morning. Like eyes kind of folded shut a little bit.
Oh, yeah, baby. We're in for a beautiful summer. 2 weeks until Memorial Day weekend. 2 weeks. But no, I appreciate you jumping on, man. Big special thanks to our friends of the show, the Original Fudge Kitchen, shipping fudge all across the country. And another big shout out to another new friend of the show, Corporally's Italian Bakery out of Norristown, Pennsylvania. There is no town like no town. So big thanks to both the Original Fudge Kitchen and Corporally's. This is another episode of Mondays with Mick. Thanks for jumping on, Colin. Game 5, Sixers Celtics, Tuesday night. Let's get fired up. Keep on Samboner, everybody.
Prediction. What do you think?
If Embiid plays the entire game, we win.
I love it. That does it. Mondays with Mick.
Later.